2. We got Ashlee Evans-Smith back here on the program. She's coming off a nice win this past weekend at UFC 223 against Bec Rawlings. Ashlee, how are you?
I'm really good. I just got back late last night because I stayed 2 extra days in Brooklyn, but I'm just really happy to be back.
I bet. Really nice weather out there, obviously, in California compared to New York. What did you get up to in Brooklyn those last couple of days after the fight?
You know, I've been to New York a few times for some college stuff, and I've seen, all the touristy stuff. So I just spent a couple of days with one of my college wrestling friends named Jackie, and we went to all the best vegan restaurants, and we ate all the food, all of it, and went to some dive bars and just caught up. We hadn't seen each other in a long time, and nothing major, just like small time fun, but just it was good.
Are you a vegan, or are you just like going to eat there?
I'm vegan.
Oh, you are vegan. Okay. I didn't know that for some reason. I learn something every time we do an interview. There you go. I know it's been a few days since you've had the win. You've had sort of a chance to digest everything. Just looking back, were you happy with how you performed on Saturday night?
Yes and no. I was pretty confident that I was going to get the finish. I didn't finish her. She is a really tough girl. I'll give her that. But I am definitely happy with my performance as far as showcasing all the different skills that I have. I would have liked to wrestle more, and maybe if I was able to kind of put that together and time my grappling better, maybe I would have got the finish. But like I said in a couple other interviews, I still am pretty new to the sport. I have under 10 fights, and even though majority of them have been in the UFC, I still consider myself a rookie. And so I think that once I start kind of putting everything together, that I think I'm going to really shine then, and I'll be able to get finishes and knockouts and TKOs left and right. No more unanimous decisions.
And I know you mentioned after the fight that you had a lot going into the matchup as far as, switching up camps and things like that. Did that play a role at all in the fight, or was that just something that, if anything, that helped you heading into this fight?
Yeah, no. Like to me, switching camps is like breaking up with a boyfriend you've been in love with for years, and it's heartbreaking. It's really hard. It's never a good thing. I have unfortunately done it a few times now since I've been in the sport a while, and it's never a good feeling. And you feel kind of lost. Where am I going to go now? And I got really lucky because even though I had this breakup with my home gym, I still had a great Muay Thai coach, Tyler Wombles at Classic Fight Team. I still had an amazing boxing coach who actually ended up cornering me in my fight, Chewy Gutierrez. So I had my boxing gym, I had my jiu-jitsu school, still 10th Planet, and then I still had my strength and conditioning coach. So even though I had this breakup, I still had all these other coaches and gyms. It wasn't like I was just like training with myself, shadow boxing in a garage. It just it was a small change, but also a big change. And then actually my boyfriend, who is a black belt and has had a lot of Muay Thai fights, ended up stepping up and helping me as kind of like being a head coach, which sounds a little weird, but it was really, really beneficial. So we made do with what we had, and it ended up being a blessing in disguise, really.
Yeah, because I was going to say you had a good performance, so it didn't seem like it made an impact. But I did notice you mentioned that after the fight, we were like, yeah, I was kind of just working with a couple different coaches. So I'm glad it worked out and you got the win and everything. You mentioned that night after the fight, you were going to go out with some close friends and celebrate. What did you get up to as far as the post-fight celebrations that night?
Yeah, so I always say, I don't really care where we go. I just want to be with everybody. And Carla, who was also in my corner, she was a guest fighter, so she had a lot of media obligations, and she kind of had to stay till the very end. The fights didn't get over till like 1 in the morning. We were just going to all meet up in the hotel lobby bar, but that closed early, so we ended up just going. Thank goodness for Brooklyn, though. The bar is open till 4 a.m. So we ended up going to just a little Irish bar down the street. And then another place that was open till 4 a.m. But it was just my close friends. At first I thought, let's go to the official after party if there was one, but we ended up not doing that. We just hung out and talked about the fight, and it felt good because all my corners and friends were just praising me for my performance, and it was just a really good time just hanging out with my friends and getting the positive feedback. So it wasn't anything crazy, just a couple drinks and hanging out till 4 a.m. in Brooklyn.
Right, no, which is always a good time, especially in Brooklyn. It's there's never a dull moment of things to do. You mentioned the feedback. Did the UFC talk to you at all after the fight about your performance? Because again, it was a good performance.
No, I was shocked at the amount of media that they had me go through. I've done a couple, like 1 or 2 interviews after wins, but I think this was the first time that they put me in front of like the big, it's like 20 different, interviewers, and they're just like yelling at you left and right, and you're like, and you're taking questions. That's the first time they put me through that, but they didn't speak to me individually. The New York commission was impressed with my performance, and they kept telling me how great they thought my striking was. And but it's only been a couple of days, so maybe they'll contact me. I'm looking to get right back into the cage before my birthday, which is July 9th. So ideally, I'd love to fight on that July 7th card in Las Vegas. And have one more fight under my belt before my birthday. But yeah, hopefully they call me and they're impressed with my performance.
Yeah, well, no, and it's good timing too, because that's the International Fight Week card. So there's 2 cards, so there's more of an opportunity to get on that week, right? So
yeah.
So yeah, I like the game plan there. What does this past week look like? You mentioned you just got back and everything like that. Are you going to start, getting back to training, or are you taking the week off? What's sort of the game plan?
So after a win, I always get super hungry to get back into the gym, even more so than a loss. The loss, I kind of unfortunately lick my wounds a little bit for a little while and then get back into the gym with a little bit more fire. But with the win, it's like even more fire. Like I wanted to come home early just so I could go train. Unfortunately, I did kick her a couple times, and so I hurt myself basically. So now my foot is just a little swollen. So I need to give it probably at least a week just for the swelling to go down so I can run on it and hop around it and do normal training. But as soon as that's, healed, then I just want to get right back into camp. Like I said, July 7th is like 2 months away. To me, that's like perfect time for a really good camp. You're not overtraining, you peak at the right time. So I just want to kind of like pay all the people that I owe money to, coaches and managers and that kind of stuff. Do my laundry, get back to normal life, and then I want to be right back in training camp.
Is there anyone you want to fight next, or you're just going to leave that up to your management?
No, I want to fight Jessica Rose Clark.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Well, she's got a fight book. She's fighting Jessica Ai. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, no, I didn't.
That's why I'm here. We're not just doing interviews. I got to inform you too. So she's fighting on that. I think it's the Chile card coming up here. Or no, sorry, it's the Singapore one. But she's definitely fighting Jessica Ai. I know that for a fact.
Oh, dang it. Well, if one of those girls gets injured or pulls out, sign me up.
Okay, but why?
I would love to fight Jessica Ai as well.
Okay, well, why Jessica Rose Clark though? Just playing hypothetical. Why her out of all the fighters on the roster?
I mean, she has some hype behind her right now, and she beat Bec, and then she beat Paige. So I just feel like like people are looking at her right now, and then I'll have the opportunity to kind of take that shine away from her, so derail her hype train a little bit. But yeah, no, I think that it would be an interesting fight. No trash talk, but yeah, that's who I want to fight next.
Okay, interesting. What was the first cheat meal you had after the fight? I'm sure you ate something good right after the win.
After the win, what did I eat? Oh my goodness.
Or was it a drink? It must have been a nice beverage after.
Yeah, it was a beverage. One of my best friends bought me a gigantic bottle of champagne.
Nice. So that's a good friend right there.
Yeah, even though I really don't like it, I was like, thank you so much. Yeah, okay. Drank that, and then I'm a big red wine drinker. I like red wine, so we went to the bar and I got classy with my red wine.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Awesome. Just 2 more quick things. The big thing last week, obviously, was Conor McGregor. How did you hear about that, and what was your reaction when you heard that he went sort of berserk on the bus trying to get at Khabib Nurmagomedov?
I keep getting that question because I was actually at the event in, smack in the middle, basically. But I really wasn't affected in a negative way. In fact, the only way that it did affect me was in a positive way, because my fight got moved from Fight Pass to Fox Sports 1, which is more exposure for me. But doesn't mean that I wasn't just fucking like thrown back by what he did, because I'm heartbroken for the fighters that didn't get to fight. They lose it all on their paychecks. You know, all the hard work that they did. Their families fly out there. It's just like, how could you do that to those people? You know, when you know exactly what it's like to dedicate your time and sacrifice and have everything writing on it, financial stuff, like that would just really hurt my heart for those people, because I met a lot of those people, like Mike Chisea. Yes, I mean his name wrong.
No worries. Again, that's why I'm here. You know, all these things. You know, so.
Yeah, so it's just, you know, and then, you know, you go and you see them a little bit later, you just see the heartbreak in their eyes, because they didn't get to do what they love to do, you know, what they trained so hard to do. So that pissed me the fuck off, you know, it really, really did. I can't believe he did that. But other than that, I stayed focused, you know, because I knew that worst case scenario, the whole card was going to get scrapped. It crossed my mind, but I couldn't focus on that. So I just stayed focused on the weight cut, visualizing the fight, blah, 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 the same stuff. I even wrote a blog about it actually last night on the plane. So I'm going to release it either tonight or tomorrow. It's my experience at 223. But yeah, so it really wasn't that bad, but I did have some other interesting experiences at 223. So I write about that, and you guys can go read that.
See, that's what we call a teaser in this business. That's good, you know, so people want to go read it, because you sort of alluded to it, which is great. And that's kind of where we're going to end here. You know, you mentioned, you know, a post-fight that you were going to interview Fabricio Werdum. Anything else lined up interview-wise for your YouTube channel?
I have, so basically, I don't know what you do, probably the same thing. You just kind of like, all right, like what card's coming up? All right, who do I have contact information for? Okay. And, you know, for me, I like to do these interviews in person. You know, this is nice, you know, but like, it's just different when I can sit down with the fighter and talk to them and, you know what I mean, get a vibe for them and all that. And I don't mind traveling. I'll go from LA to Orange County and whatever. So I actually looked at the roster, or the fight card coming up today, and I realized that I'm friends with Marvin Vettori. So for Fabricio this week, and I'm trying to squeeze in Marvin also. He fights April 14th, and that's in Arizona. So yeah, so I'm going to try and get those under my belt and just get right back on training and interviewing and all the fun stuff.
Well, you better get Marvin soon, because he's fighting on Saturday, so he might already be in Arizona right now.
Oh, shit. Well, I just contacted him today, so we'll see. Yeah.
So if he doesn't get back, you might be on a plane right now, so we'll have to see what happens.
That might be why he's taking a while to take me back. So
yeah, that could be it. He's not giving you the cold shoulder. He actually has a fight coming up here against Israel Adesanya, by the way. It's going to be a good fight. But
yeah.
Ashlee, I always appreciate you taking the time, especially this time, because it's just a couple days after the fight. I really appreciate it. Just remind people where they can find you on social media, where they can find your YouTube channel, and I'm sure you got some sponsors and shout-outs, so the floor is yours.
Thank you. Yeah, if you guys want to follow me all across the board on social media, it's just my name, Ashlee, Ashlee, no Y, Ashlee MMA, Twitter, Instagram, all that. I got a Facebook as well. You can go like my page. And then if you want to watch some videos of me interviewing other fighters, you just look up Ashlee Evans-Smith MMA. You just put that in YouTube, and that will pop up, and that's my channel where you can go and watch me interview other fighters, kind of like what we're doing here. And then I do have a couple of sponsors and coaches and managers that I want to thank. Iridium Sports Agency is my management company, and I really want to thank all the people that corner me that have never cornered me before. Carlos Esparza, my best friend, Chewy Gutierrez, my boxing coach, Mauro Navarro, I love you, and then all my other coaches that couldn't be here, Tyler Wombles from Classic Fight Team, Raw Talent Boxing, 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, and everybody that helps me as far as my teammates. I wish I could go big, but I can't. So I always say this, you would be nothing without your teammates. You know, what are you going to do? Beat up yourself, you know? So thank you to all my teammates and sponsors, Fix and Brewell Vape Company and MRM, and I hope I'm not forgetting anybody.